Step closer. It's time for Terror and Tales. December 21st, 2012. The date had been whispered in dark corners, feared and foretold for centuries. It was Judgment Day, the day the heavens would open and the world would be split apart. As dawn broke in a feeble grey light, the earth fell silent. Birds stilled, animals crept into shadows, and the very air felt thick with dread. Everyone could sense it, an ancient relentless force pressing down, growing stronger as the day wore on. And then, as dusk settled and the last light bled from the sky, the heavens tore open and the angels descended. They poured from the rift, not in gentle beams of light, but in terrifying waves, like a storm sweeping over the earth. These were not the kind, benevolent figures humanity had imagined. These angels were creatures of wrath, beings carved from fire and stone, with wings that stretched endlessly, casting shadows over cities and countrysides alike. Their faces were shifting, sometimes beautiful, sometimes grotesque, their expressions masks of fury, sorrow, and judgment. They were the arbiters of humanity's end, and they had come to separate the worthy from the damned. The first angel landed with a sound like thunder, its wings curling around it like blades. It reached out a hand to a trembling man who had collapsed to his knees. At its touch, his entire life was laid bare before him. Every kindness, every cruelty, every secret sin illuminated in brutal clarity. The angel's eyes, a sea of cold, unfeeling fire, watched as the man's spirit cracked under the weight of his own deeds. In a flash, he was reduced to nothing, a pile of ash swept away by the angel's slightest gesture. This was only the beginning. More angels descended, each more terrible than the last, each more merciless in their judgment. Their wings cut through the sky like scythes, their eyes burned with ancient power. They moved through the cities and fields, separating the righteous from the sinners with a single look, their gaze as heavy as 1,000 years of sorrow. The worthy felt a warmth, a light wrapping around them, pulling them upward, while the unworthy collapsed under the weight of their sins, their souls dissolving into nothingness, their bodies left as empty shells. The angels were everywhere, floating above temples, passing through homes, gliding across fields and forests, sparing no one their silent, unyielding scrutiny. Those who tried to hide felt the angel's gaze, pierce through walls, through floors, through the very fabric of their lives. An angel with eyes embedded in every feather drifted over a small town, each eye blinking in eerie unison, watching, judging, condemning. Those who met its gaze felt their lives unravel, their flaws exposed, and their souls ripped away, as if they were nothing more than leaves on the wind. Among them, however, was one who outshone the rest, a stunning angel, a vision of breathtaking beauty and chilling grace. Her hair cascaded like liquid gold, shimmering with an otherworldly glow, and her skin glimmered as if kissed by the stars. Her eyes were pools of icy blue, captivating yet devoid of warmth, reflecting the vast emptiness of the universe. Draped in a gown that flowed like mist, adorned with silver threads that sparkled like the night sky, she embodied perfection. As she touched down on the ground, the air around her crackled with anticipation. People gathered, their hearts a mix of dread and hope, believing that this stunning angel might offer salvation. Yet, as she surveyed the crowd, her expression remained a mask of calm delight. Her lips curled into a satisfied smile that suggested she relished the unfolding chaos. The first man she approached was trembling, eyes wide with fear, as he fell to his knees before her. "Please," he begged, voice shaking, "I seek forgiveness, I will change." But the angel simply smiled, her gaze locking onto him with an intensity that made his heart race. Without a word, she reached out with a delicate hand, her fingers grazing his forehead. In that instant, his life unraveled before him, every sin, every dark thought, every moment of weakness laid bare in a vivid tapestry of his existence. The weight of his guilt crashed down on him, and he felt his heart pound as panic took hold. The angel's smile widened, transforming into a wicked grin that illuminated her stunning features. She took delight in his fear, savoring the moment as if it were a fine wine. Then, with a swift motion, she withdrew her hand. The ground beneath him shattered, and in an instant he was gone, reduced to nothingness. His scream echoed through the air for just a heartbeat before it was silenced, consumed by the void. The angel reveled in the annihilation, her laughter ringing like chimes in a gentle breeze, sweet yet laced with malice. As the night wore on, the final hour approached. The angel, a vision of beauty and terror, stood atop a hill, surveying the carnage below. Those deemed worthy began to ascend toward her, drawn to her blinding light like moths to a flame, convinced they were escaping the horrors of the world. But as they floated closer, the truth began to unfold before their horrified eyes. The radiant light that surrounded her was not a beacon of hope, it was a blinding trap. As they crossed the threshold into her realm, a chilling realization washed over them. This was not paradise. It was a nightmare beyond their worst imaginings. The landscape was beautiful but sterile, filled with golden skies that burned with an oppressive light. There were no sounds of joy, no laughter, only an echoing emptiness that filled their souls with dread. In that moment, the souls felt their identities dissolve, their memories fading like smoke in the wind. The sensation of loss was overwhelming, a hollow ache where their humanity had once thrived. The bright skies morphed into swirling colors, disorienting and dizzying, as they realized they could never leave this place. The vibrant landscape around them twisted and warped, revealing glimpses of their deepest fears and regrets every moment they wished to escape. Magnified to an unbearable degree, they saw visions of their loved ones suffering, their lives crumbling, while they floated helplessly, unable to intervene. The anguish of their memories clawed at them, a constant reminder of their inability to return to the world they once knew. The angel's laughter echoed through the realm, a haunting melody that pierced their very souls. In her radiant prison, the once beautiful angel had become a tyrant, relishing every moment of their torment. They were trapped in an endless cycle of longing, caught between the beauty of her light and the horror of their reality, a fate worse than anything they could have imagined. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for your daily dose of terror. This tale ends, but the terror lives on. Your turn. Suggest a story for our next tale in the comments.